See that?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Leanne, Leanne, and my sign name is L right in the middle of my chest. It's like near my heart, L. I was born up in Chemainus. I grew up, I went to Vancouver over at the School for the Deaf, Jericho Hill School for the Deaf in Vancouver. And then I actually moved to Washington, D.C. I graduated down there in 1994. I went to Gallaudet University, and that's a school for the deaf, and I graduated from there. And then when I came back here, sadly there was sexual abuse that happened at the school that I went to, Jericho School for the Deaf, and there was a class action lawsuit that I led the fight for 12 years, struggled to win that class action lawsuit, and luckily it was settled. And that was for all of BC. Deaf Canadians. There was 350 of us, victims that I represented in the class action suit. That was back and forth, obviously, with the government. Luckily, that's settled now. I do have 2 boys. I've been separated from my husband for 2 years, and the reason why I'm here camping in Beacon Hill Park is when COVID hit in March. I was looking after my grandma. I had been up in Chemainus. I had been working as a janitor. That's my previous occupation. And then I was isolated up in Chemainus. It's a small community. It wasn't good for my mental health to be isolated. And my priority was my sons. And COVID hit. I came back down here, COVID hit. I was trying to find a place. I was looking all over, about a search for about a month. And then 2 months ago, I met a guy who lifted me up. I was quite depressed before meeting him. And I feel like I'm a better person the last 2 months after meeting him. And there was a woman named, I was at the women's shelter. One day I asked if I could come back the next day at the women's shelter, and they said no. So that's when I had to get a tent. And then I thought, I grew up camping. I love camping, going to the beach and swimming and being outdoors. So I thought, it's summertime, I can camp. I can do that for a bit. So that's how I ended up here. And I'm hoping to find a place for October 1st. And I want to be done with the tenting by then.
Why did they not let you stay at the women's shelter?
That's their policy there. It was a long weekend. It was my birthday. So I thought, okay, I made plans to do a bit of camping. And then they told me that their policy there is 1 day on the weekend. So you can't, you have to go back for another intake interview. I was stuck to 1 day. But because I was going to stay for the weekend, but I decided to go camping for my birthday, I was told that I couldn't come back for the next day. And we enjoy camping, so, I thought I needed a break from the shelter as well. I have to phone to see if they have a bed available, and then I would be able to get back in again. But I think I'm going to have to do that soon again about the shelter, because obviously the weather's turning, and so I'm going to need better housing than the tent when the weather turns. I just really enjoy being outside, and I thought, why not during the summer?
Okay. Have you felt safe in the park?
Yes, I have felt safe. We were closer to Southport School in that area. I didn't like being across from the school. I thought, with the kids starting school, like they just started last week, I disagreed with having homeless people right there. I thought we had to be moved, and I agreed to move to this area. This is nicer for me. It's more spacious. We're not all crammed in like we were closer to South Park on that side of the park. To me, right now, this is a perfect situation. And I don't want the kids to see us, or not me, but people are doing drugs right across. I totally agree that it has to be, homeless people should not be tenting near a school where it's visible for kids. I absolutely 100% agree with that decision to move us, to respect the kids. And when I was told that I needed to move, I absolutely did it, no problem.
Were there any people that didn't want to move? That you know of?
Yeah, I've seen like just a few people move, but and then I noticed that it was empty. The first couple of days, people didn't go, but now it's obvious the bylaw officers are quite present in the park. And granted, I didn't see exactly what happened, but I noticed that there's not any campers there now. So it's good, it's safer, it's cleaner now. And it could be like nature again. You know, it's just, you know, and it's going to hopefully look good again soon. And I think the priority is those school kids. They shouldn't be looking at homeless people tenting across the street.
Okay. Have you noticed any criminal activity in the park?
Not really. When I was staying at that first spot across from South Park, yeah, there was one camper that they started a fire. They were thinking it was before they had to move. It was like the last day, so they started a fire. I was like shocked. That's something that I saw, somebody light a fire, their own tent on fire. I thought, oh, that's crazy. But besides that, I mean, that's also their perspective, and that's their story. You know, I know that people struggle every day, people that live on the streets. People call them bums. I get it. I struggle too, obviously. It's sad. It's sad when people struggle, don't have an income, and now with COVID, and there's so many more reasons why people are out here, why people have to live on the streets or be tenting in parks. The positive is we get food here. I'm so grateful for that program. The mustard seed, every lunch, there's coffee, there's food served, at night there's food too. If we had no food, we would die for sure. There's no way we could survive out here. We're lucky to have the basic needs for survival, to have food. And it's important people have shelter. I mean, a tent right now is the roof, quote unquote, over my head.
Yes. How does, I've heard people in the media talk about how, well, been this petition to save Beacon Hill Park, and people are trying to raise money to sue City Council to put the 7 to 7 bylaw back in place. What do you think about that?
Oh, I would be exhausted if I had to take my tent down. It was so much work to take this down, to pack everything up, to go somewhere and then come back at 7 p.m. So be gone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's crazy. What a waste of energy. It's almost like we need like a team approach. It has to be, okay, if I need to move in a different area of the park, or, you know, we need to be dealt with respectfully still. I think it's disrespectful that I would have to take down my tent, go somewhere else and come back every day. It's just, I couldn't imagine the energy to do that every day. You know, you're tired if you work every day, right? Like and then if you had to rebuild your home every day after you've had to go out and work or go out and do something else, it would be exhausting.
The Premier even has called on Victoria City Council and criticized the leadership, saying that they should implement that bylaw again. And I think the reason behind it is they think that it'll stop the criminal activity. Do you think that would work?
Well, the criminal activity, that happens every day. You can't stop that by just displacing people. It would continue. You can't, how would you stop that by people just needing to move out of the park?
If you could say anything to Premier Horgan about his comments about City Council, what would that be?
I would encourage him to support people that live on the streets. We need better services for people that are homeless. We need to be encouraging and make it easier for people to gain shelter and housing. We need the support. We need that access, not just being left, and we need the support. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The city council right now is talking about a distributed model for homeless people. So what that would look like is smaller groups, like say less than 30, put in different areas across the region. What do you think about that idea?
I think that's a great idea. I think there's still, you know, as long as there's still the access to, it needs to still be connected. I understand that, okay, if people are separated into groups, but it still needs to be a team approach. We still need to have education, information awareness. I think that's an important issue, like just to make sure that things are still coordinated, even though you have people in separate areas.
Yeah, and so the idea would also be that the different areas, like let's say people who are working are in one area, people who are maybe Indigenous would have cultural and protocol supports, and people who are actively using would be together, and people who are not using are together. But trying to figure out how to organize that might be a bit complicated, but what do you think about that? How would that have changed things for you in your experience?
You know, it's amazing too because you learn from each other. So if you're with like-minded people, you learn, and then you can learn and do better together. If people are together that want to change their lives, then they'll have more influence on each other, and that could happen better.
Yeah, and then there could be some programs and some sort of support services that might come in, maybe if someone wants to go back to school, or a lot of people that I've talked to also want to be part of the solution. They want to be able to have jobs, maybe cleaning up the park or doing things, doing outreach for each other. Homeless people doing outreach to other homeless people. What do you think about that?
I think that's so important. Absolutely. That would be so worth having something set up like that.
What is your biggest challenge right now to finding housing? Like, what do you need?
You know, it's low income. That's the biggest challenge. You know, if it's a low income family or a low income individual, it's supposed to be provided. Shelter, housing. You know, what are people going to be outside during the winter? Come on. We need to get people inside into a warm place. Everybody needs a roof over their head, the basic needs of food and clothing. That's so important to have for everyone's safety. If we're just left out in the cold, I mean, obviously it's so sad. I'm just so sad that this is what's happening. And it's just so tough for people that are in this situation. But then COVID hits too, right? And I was about to find a place in March. I thought that was going to be easier than this, and then COVID hit. I couldn't believe how hard it has been since March. And what this is like being on the streets, I'm in the park, but being without a home right now.
In what way did that exactly make it hard to find a place?
When I was trying to find a place for myself, because as I said, I separated from my husband 2 years ago, and just moving back down here, and I noticed that, you know, even to view a place, people were scared. They didn't want anybody to come and view because of COVID. Luckily, more people are understanding if I wear my mask, if I'm washing my hands. I wash my hands quite often. Every 20 minutes, I must wash my hands all the time. But that's how COVID impacted looking for a place. People didn't want to come show their places. And I've realized that because of COVID, I really have to show that I'm protecting myself from this virus while I'm trying to look for a place.
Is income a barrier?
I'm on a person with disabilities benefits, but that's not enough, to be completely honest with you. You can't pay rent, pay your bills, and then maybe I have left $400. I have 2 kids. I have to feed my kids. They need clothes, and then it's zero funds in the bank account really quick. It's not enough for a month for myself with 2 kids. I know people that collect disability, and it's tight. So many people, like, they don't have enough money at the end of the month. It's awful. It's very serious that it's not enough money.
Because that shelter allowance is it $375?
$375, yes.
So,
I think the support is $800.
so you're expected to
That's
rent,
my income, yeah.
so you're expected to rent a place for yourself and 2 kids on $375.
$375 was just for me. My kids are with their father right now. But if my kids were with me right now, that's what I would have no money left.
Yeah.
It would be impossible to do with them. It's a different story when you're alone and then with the kids. So if I'm on my own, still I have bills and food and clothes and then you get down to zero very quickly, and it's not easy. It's not easy to budget when you have a little bit of money to start with.
Yeah. What did your parents do for a living? What's your family background?
I'm close with my family. My mom works at Providence Farm in Duncan. She works with clients there. It's very challenging work, and my mom uses sign language. It's wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. Oh, and she can communicate with people there that use sign language. My father's retired. He's a retired mechanic.
With the class action lawsuit, were 375 people actually abused at that? 350?
Yeah, 350 victims. And I led for all of those victims. I fought for 12 years with the government.
Have you been able to heal from that experience? Like, where are you around that?
Well, with that class action, the process of the class action lawsuit, I was very angry because I was never informed. They never informed me or my family. They hid it. They didn't ever say, like, this is what happened to Leanne. They didn't tell my family. So there was a lot of anger towards the government for hiding that. That's why I had to fight. I had proof that I'd been a victim of abuse. Parents should have known the abuse happened. They kept it a secret, the government and Jericho Hill School. So today, there's a placard that the government has agreed to put on. So the school now is called Burnaby South School, and they want to remove that. And the community is trying to find a place to put that placard back outside. We're working on it right now. That's on, it's just, in the process right now to remove that. But I want it to be there because I fought to be recognized, and so did all the people in the class action suit. So I don't want them just to think that they can remove something and think that they can remove that history. We want that back on the property, and hopefully that will happen this year. There's a person coordinating that. I have too much on my plate. Obviously right now there's another person that took over that fight with the government to not erase the history of the abuse and erase what we went through. So we're hoping that the government will take responsibility, but they've also broke some of their settlements that we had a list of items in the settlement that they've broken that. So, but again, that's not on my shoulders right now. That class action suit for 12 years was a lot on my shoulders. Somebody else is taking over that. And there's victims who have committed suicide, died for other reasons, who were abused at Jericho Hill School, and they need to be recognized. There needs to be somewhere where this plaque needs to stay visible for people.
People need to know.
Exactly, that's it. Like at UBC, there's the totem poles that they have for respect. Where's the respect for the abuse that we had endured? There's no respect. We need to honor these deaf victims and not be ignored.
100%. Was it like one teacher, or was it like a systemic thing at the school that this was happening, that the abuse happened?
Oh, it became systemic. It was, so it was staff, like teachers, they abused the kids then those kids abused the younger kids. It went on and on and on. It was this just cycle that continued for many, many years. It started in 1950 to 1992.
Unbelievable. I just generally, I'm so sorry that she had to go through that, that you had to go through that.
But yeah.
It's in the
Yeah.
past now. I want to maybe just take a, I'm sorry to upset.
It's okay. I get emotional. It's. I'm used to it. I'm trying to move on. It's emotional.
It's really hard. If you could, you know, what do you think the best thing that could happen for the homeless would be out of this situation? What do they need?
Sent to programs. We need supports. We need services put into place. We need to be referred to people that can help, things like that.
And for the people that are very,
There's nowhere to go. We need something. There's nothing else for us. We need somewhere to move forward to become successful. We need a home. We need the resources. I know it's political. I know it's finances. I know all of that. But the key is people need to survive. We can't live in this craziness. The drugs, the alcohol. You know, we need to get healthy, get everybody healthy on the streets. You know, if they want to get sober or if they have addiction issues, they need to get into programs. They need support. We need the support services. Right now, I need counseling, and I've actually been able to access counseling. I'm taking it one day at a time. It's not easy. You know, I'm a mother of two. I have to work on myself so I can be a better mom.
yeah. So to the people out there that are saying things like Beacon Hill Park has become a drug-infested slum, you know, full of criminals, what would you say to those people?
Oh, I forgot to say something actually. When we were in the first spot across from South Park, I signed, there was a person there that was screaming, and I actually signed and yelled at the same time, "Shut the fuck up." And I was like, enough, enough. And she actually stopped and she said, "Sorry." I said, "You don't need to scream. We're all in this together. You don't need to stand here and scream." And I know that she has addiction problems. Obviously, there's mental health issues with people that are addicted. And we need the mental health system. We need those services set up for people that are in a state like that woman was. We need to have respect for people that are at the point where they have to be here. And, you know, but there's also something about, I had to stand up for myself in that situation because I'm living here too. You can't be screaming when we're all trying to live together. That's not a way that we can work together.
Yeah.
I guess one last thing I would like to say. I hope the homeless population can be minimized and eventually reduced. We need to provide counseling, addiction programs, all the support services. This is what people need. We need access to this. I think that would be my final comment.
Okay. Okay, I think that that's good. And I thank you so much because I know that's really emotional for you. So I want to say thank you so much for participating in this. And I hope that we can stay in touch.
Yes, let's do it anytime. Yes.
And maybe we could do.
I got your number. Maybe we'll end up going for a coffee sometime.
100%.
Chat.
And maybe if we need to do a follow-up interview, if you're open to doing some follow-up work.
Yeah, please. Yeah, just contact me.
So we can see where you end up. And I just wish you all the very best. And I hope that you get.
I hope I find a place and then I can be settled. I won't have to be in limbo. It's just, you know, since March, I feel like it's been chaotic. I want to be settled. I want to move on. Hopefully soon that will happen.
Thank you so much, Leanne.
You're welcome.